Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck. We are previewing Week 7 of the NFL season. Follow us on Ringer Fantasy Football on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok at Ringer Fantasy Football, and our rankings are at fantasyfootball.theringer.com. If you have questions, we'll update those Sunday morning. Let's just dive into Week 7. I'll be honest, DK, the early games, 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, whatever you call them, those games suck.
Slop. AI slop.
They're awful.
Everybody's got weird hands and 4 fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Bill,
It's pumpkin patch. That's the pumpkin patch slate.
literally, Bill had that thing of like the pumpkin patch weekend,
Apple
the
picking
apple
weekend.
picking, yeah, where it's like sacrifice a Sunday to your
100%.
family and be like, oh, honey, like, I'm gonna just selflessly skip everything so we can spend the day as a family. These games suck, and that's at least this window specifically, they're pretty awful. So we'll go through. We're still gonna go through in order, but we could probably speed through some of these a little faster than others.
Keep pace. Yeah.
I mean, the further we go, the better they will. I would say the London game is okay by London standards. So the London, I think this is the last London game. It's good by London standards. It's Rams are at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both these teams are 4-2. Obviously, the big one here is Puka Nacua, the receiver for the Rams, who leads the league in targets and catches and yards, has a sprained ankle. And the Rams are kind of pretending like Puka will play. I don't think Puka will play. They have a bye next week. They could get him 3 weeks of rest. That would be stupid for him to play. Why would Puka play? So I feel like they're pretending. They might get Tutu Atwell back from a hamstring injury, and they're going to have, Jordan Whittington and 2 receiver sets with Devontae Adams and Tutu Atwell and legendary Rams receivers filling in like Kanata Mumpfield and Xavier Smith.
Totally.
Kanata
Mumpfield.
That's another Star Wars
Played with
name.
Cloyce Box. Yeah, that is the Star Wars names. Kanata Mumpfield. Jags are banged up too. Devin Lloyd, the linebacker for the Jags who leads the NFL in interceptions, also has a calf injury. Never love a calf injury. So not sure if he's going to play. I will say even without Puka, it did cross my mind of how long can the Jaguars keep winning until we actually take them seriously? Because even if they win this game, I'm like, they beat Shanahan and Andy Reid and Sean McVay in 3 out of 4 weeks. And I'm like, even if they win this, I'll still say it doesn't count. London, Puka, I'm going to find so many. Yeah, no, I'm taking it seriously.
If they win this game, I will be a believer. I think the one thing that's still kind of holding me back from, there's a lot of things holding me back from believing fully in the Jags, but they were kind of surviving on turnovers in the early part of the season, like big time. They lead the NFL in takeaways. And that's one of those things that just it's hard to predict that will happen each and every week. So we'll see how this goes. But I do think if they beat the Rams, that's a pretty legitimate win to me.
Yeah, although you always got to throw out the London games. You don't know if any of that's real when you win a game out there. I think for fantasy, this is a cut and dry start-sit game. It's like there are the obvious starts, the obvious non-starts. I don't know if there's a lot of like flex debates. Devontae, Brian Thomas, auto starts. ETN, you're probably auto starting him. It's like, I don't think you're playing Travis Hunter until we see something. No. You're probably not playing the other Rams wide receivers. They
said they want to get Travis Hunter the ball more and get him more work as a receiver.
They've been saying that all year.
Which I believe it, but I'm also like, the idea that you're going to start doing that when they're going to London seems like a terrible idea. Like, how many games do we have to see where the offenses are bad in London? Like, I can't.
And we talked about the rookie bye bump. They have their bye the week after this, and then they come back against the Raiders. Like, maybe that's the time you want to take a risk on Travis Hunter, but probably not now.
I think
one quick thing to talk about with Travis Hunter, I can't remember if we talked about this before, but the variable that's kind of come into play with him, I think this year that we probably could have predicted, but this is a real life thing that is causing issues for the Jags, is like there's been so many times where Travis Hunter doesn't know where to line up. There was a play, and look, I'm usually fully against really ticky-tack procedural penalties that wipe big plays away, but he lined up offsides on a play against the Seahawks that went for a touchdown. It was a crazy play, like a deep shot. The Seahawks quarterback underplayed it. Brian Thomas caught the ball, ran for a touchdown, and it was nullified because Travis Hunter was lined up in the neutral zone.
All the mistakes are certainly magnified when you're like, yeah, maybe he should,
so
practice.
That, again, to what I'm talking about specifically is the practice time. It does matter. This is why it's hard for guys to play on two sides of the football, because then it's like the little details that are so hard to get for every rookie are just magnified that much more for him. So that's just, I think, a real world application of why players don't typically play on both sides of the football and some of the issues that he's running to early on.
Well, he's confused. He doesn't know what side of the ball he's supposed to be on. He's so used to lining up on defense. He just,
sometimes he accidentally guards himself.
Exactly. It's just confusing. Okay, early games. I can't stress enough how ugly this slate is. If you do end up watching it, I think this game is by far the most interesting. The Eagles are at the Minnesota Vikings this week.
Yeah. It's only interesting by narrative, but by watching it might not be that interesting. It's funny with Minnesota. If I know their record, but if I didn't, I feel like I could have been. If somebody told me the Vikings were 1-4 this year or 4-1, I'd be like, yeah. Like I kind of don't know what they're like. Record agnostic. They're 3-2. The Vikings. The narratives have continued about Philly every week. It's like there was another meeting with the players or with Petula or with what. It's like, is this going to be the week? I'm a little nervous this week for the Eagles. I gotta say, I feel like usually the like squeaky wheel narrative. This is I don't know. Hurts versus Flores. They blitz like crazy in Minnesota. This game's in Minnesota. Hurts has been really bad against blitzes and particularly against zone blitzes, which is what the Vikings do a lot. I don't know. Like, this is a game where I think on paper you go, this is the Eagles versus Carson Wentz, and there's a 2.5 point spread. The Eagles are favored by only 2.5 points. Like, what's going on here? But I have my Windhorse fingers up about why I just think, I don't know. This game makes me a little nervous, I think, for AJ Brown. The Vikings have allowed only one receiver to go over 68 yards this year.
Wow, is that
one
right?
receiver has had over 68 yards receiving.
Is that DK Metcalf?
And he did it in one play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How do you guys feel about this game?
Well, you mentioned Wentz. I love a good revenge game.
Although JJ McCarthy could play, we don't know that.
No, it's going to be Wentz, I think. Yeah. And if Carson Wentz beats the Eagles, anarchy,
I love that for him. Yeah.
Anarchy will be unleashed in the streets of Philadelphia. Let me tell you something.
They got to grease up all the poles.
Vegas thinks this game is going to come down to a field goal.
All the tough talk and all the Eagles fans who are just so mad when we talk every week about like, why does this team look so bad? And they're like, oh, shut the fuck up, we're winning. They're going to flip out if Carson Wentz beats them. They're going to break their brains.
Who do you? Okay, so Craig, you're nervous. Heifetz, who do you think is going to win this game?
The Eagles, but
yeah,
if they don't, it's disastrous. I will defend the Eagles' bad offense for a second with the obvious that it is bad that the moment their offensive line is not automatically the absolute elitist best in the league. Suddenly Jalen Hurts cannot complete passes to AJ Brown, nor can Saquon Barkley run. I know I've said this a bunch this week, but after the first 2 plays of the game, Saquon Barkley had 9 meaningful rushing yards against the Giants. Mm-hmm. And yet they still can't get AJ Brown the ball. How are both those things happening? So you look overall and you're like, okay, well, the Eagles offense doesn't work if they can't run. And in their defense, they play the Giants. The Giants can do anything well in defense. They can stop the run. Before that, the Eagles played the Broncos. Broncos are great stopping the run. I'm just saying it is not the Vikings. Great team at stopping the run. That's the other part, Craig, is that I don't know. I in a weird way, I could almost see the Eagles being chaos heading into their bye. Maybe they win this week. Next week, they're playing, I forget who, another team that's actually pretty solid against the run. Wait, I'm pulling it up because it matters. The Eagles next week, they're playing the Giants again, which is funny because in theory they should kick their ass, but then they go into the bye. But after that, it's like Packers, Lions, Cowboys, Bears, Chargers, Raiders, Commanders, Bills, teams that cannot. So part of me does wonder if the Eagles are going to be set up in November and December and their offense will awake. But also, Lane Johnson, the right tackle, said the play calling is predictable after the loss. So they have like a month to get their shit together. It's not do or die, but it will feel do or die if the Eagles lose this game. They have a month to get their shit together, and then the defenses they play get a lot easier.
Yeah. The only good thing that's come out of this Eagles offense this year is Dallas Goedert.
I was going to say, yeah, he's been crushing it.
If you take out Darren Waller, who's played like half the year, Goddard's the number 1 tight end in fantasy football.
Yeah, he is.
He passed Ferguson.
Yeah,
I guess
he's scoring 13 points a game, which is a pretty damn good number for a tight end. And again, he's being utilized on a lot of this stuff that's kind of close to the line of scrimmage, screen plays, run after the catch. And he's always been pretty reliable in that, but it obviously comes at the detriment of AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and obviously Saquon Barkley. So, it's a 0-sum game in fantasy, and I love to see Goddard playing well, but yeah,
it's just not a great game to get back on track. Like on the road against Flores sucks.
The last thing I'll say about this, just because I can't believe Carson Wentz is facing the Eagles. When Wentz's final season in Philly, I went back to my notes from the COVID season, and I looked at like my notes on that season. And my notes on Wentz after 2020 was I wrote down Carson Wentz had the twisties, because like remember Simone Biles had just like she couldn't flip, and like Carson Wentz led the NFL in picks, led the NFL in turnover-worthy plays, highest drop rate of any quarterback, more than a quarter of all his pressures ended in a sack, and he threw as many picks outside the pocket in 2020 as he did in the first 4 years of his career combined. That's the last time Eagles fans really saw this guy. I know that he's been on 5 teams since then. I think with Washington he played against them once, but I can't tell you how much Eagles fans are going to lose their minds if he beats them. That's all. They better win. They better win.
I'll be watching this one.
Speaking of teams that better win, though, the Miami Dolphins are at the Cleveland Browns this week. DK, this is slop.
This is slated to be one of the grossest games we'll watch this year, quite possibly, because not only is it 2 terrible teams in the Dolphins and the Browns, both of whom are 1-5. It is supposed to be a absolute storm in Cleveland. By the way, what's with Cleveland? What's with this city? Why is it always just like the most stormy, shitty, cold, windy, freezing place?
600 quadrillion gallons of water that the city rests by.
That makes sense. But apparently there's supposed to be 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts. There's like borderline hurricane gusts of wind.
Also, what are the odds?
94% chance of rain. Sorry, go ahead.
Just 2 lefty Hawaiian quarterbacks facing off with a subpar arm strength in 60 mile an hour winds in Cleveland, Ohio.
And rain.
Like and Tua, who obviously Hawaii to Alabama, and then Dylan Gabriel, who before that bowl game last year was like very high during a press conference and was like, dude, why do we even play in bad weather? Like he's like, we should just play indoors. I don't know why we even play outside.
How many names can you get to that are must starts in this game in fantasy? It's Devon Achane, and then could you stop there? Is it Judkins?
It's Quinshawn Judkins because the Dolphins are the worst defense in the league.
Judkins is probably going to get 30-something carries for 200 yards.
I think just the 2 running backs.
I do think Judkins gets 30 touches in this game.
Are you starting Waddle?
That's the question. That's what I was going to ask you is, do you start Waddle? Right now, he's the wide receiver 17 on the year. He's averaging 12 points per game, 12th in receiving yards in the NFL. Obviously, the big change here this year is that Tyreek Hill is gone. But yeah, I mean, Waddle he's on pace for 1,100 yards. He's not doing nothing.
Hasn't he already had the 1,100 yards like every year of his season? It's like Garrett Wilson.
But I think the deal is here, how much is the pass game going to be affected by this potential wind? And, when you say 60 miles an hour wind, that's going to be gusts. I think they're saying it's like 30 something miles an hour.
Dylan Gabriel might blow away.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. So the passing games are going to be tough. I think Achane obviously is a must start. By the way, we haven't really talked about Achane a whole lot this year. I just want to kind of regroup and talk about what he's done real quick here. He is the RB5 in points per game in half PPR. The 4 guys ahead of him, obviously Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, CMC, and Josh Jacobs. He's averaging 18 points per game. He's second among running backs in receptions. He's on pace to rush for 1,100 yards, catch another 500 yards on 82 catches. So, I mean, his numbers are ridiculous. He's doing awesome. Hopefully he can continue to stay healthy. He's averaging 1 more touch per game this year than last year. So again, he's just getting by on efficiency. He's had a few more explosive plays than we saw last year. That was kind of like the big problem with him last year. He just didn't have a ton of explosive plays, but he's had a few more this year. So just wanted to give Achane some credit. Obviously the one huge bright spot in the Dolphins offense. I think Waddle you could count as another bright spot. I don't know if I trust him necessarily this week, but I don't. Honestly, if you have Waddle, you probably have to start him because you don't have a ton of great other options.
We'll see what the weather is on Sunday morning. You have to check the weather on Sunday morning.
Yeah. If it's gusting to 60 miles an hour,
watch television. Watch the live report. This is why the live shots.
Is the camera shaking in the intros? Like
the sideline reporters like in a windbreaker zipped up all the way.
If the studio show is to make jokes about like apologizing that they sent the reporter there and making them go outside, then like don't play Jalen Waddle. That's an easy way to look at it. To your point about Achane, Achane's the other receiver in this offense, DK. Like it's Waddle, it's Achane, and it's Darren Waller. And this is why I hate points per reception. It's like he has 30 catches this year. It's more than Justin Jefferson. Like that has been a lot of Achane's value, but he's a good receiver on the team. But yeah. Achane, Quinshawn, and Waller. I will say Waller, just even though that sucks, you probably don't have a better option. And Waller,
I think Fannin is borderline as well. If Njoku can't play,
but it sucks
because dump offs over the middle of the field. That's kind of like what Dylan Gabriel does. And I think that's where Fannin's gonna be. So.
This whole game's going to be backward. 2 lefties and 40 mile an hour winds.
It's going to be bizarre.
So good luck with that. But make sure it's raining. We're recording this Thursday afternoon. Like things change. Look at Sunday morning and see the weather yourself.
The total of this game is 36.5 points. which means they think it's going to be like 17-19.
That's hilarious.
Fun.
Speaking of games, another slop one. This one, the Saints are at the Bears. The Bears are favored to win by 5.5. I mean, Caleb Williams or Spencer Rattler. This is Dennis Allen, the Bears coordinator, versus the Saints who fired him.
Oh,
I think this game's kind of gross as well.
Nasty.
You think?
I don't have a ton to say about this one. I feel like there are better games on the docket. I want to just shout out Roma Dunze, who's having a really good season. He's been great in fantasy this year. He's been just really wire to wire, just like an X. If you picked him, he's just been probably propelling your season. And he has 5 touchdowns, which has carried him. But honestly, he should have more. Like, he should have 2 more touchdowns in that Washington game.
Yeah.
He's one off the league lead, but it's funny to watch, and you're like, man, there's like way more meat on the bone for Odunze. So he's been great.
Do you guys think the Bears are fun to watch?
No.
That's a great question. I won't look away. They're like reality television. I don't like looking away. I like every time Swift gets the ball, I'm so intrigued. Caleb dropbacks, I'm fascinated because I do think when Caleb does anything, I mean, maybe this is like a little nerdy, but like when Caleb gets the ball out on time, quickly, boring way, that's good. He can do boring stuff. When Caleb doesn't do boring stuff, that's cool too. I like when he has a crazy throw to Odunze and gives him a shot. I like when he has a way off target pass. So I think the Bears are interesting, but in like the same way you hear about your friends who are like a mess or something. It's like, they're just like, I like when they succeed, but I also really like when they fail.
Yeah. It's funny. Even when they win, it's not in like an electric way. You know, it always feels a little bit strained, and maybe it'll take time and it'll get better and better. But it's funny that this is a team with like so many freak athletes, and Caleb who can do so many crazy things, Ben Johnson scheming, Burden and Moore and Odunze and even Swift. And I don't know. I don't really. Like, if we were doing the Bill Simmons like league pass rankings, I don't think the Bears are like top 10.
It will be really interesting.
They're too sloppy.
It'll be interesting to see if the Saints come out in this game and make it competitive, because Spencer Rattler comes out and throws for 190 yards with no touchdowns and no turnovers. And Caleb comes out and throws like 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, but has 3 turnovers. And then like the Bears lose. You know, if Spencer Rattler plays mistake-free football to beat Caleb, like that would just be funny, considering Rattler was a 5th-round pick in the same draft. This game is probably more interesting, but the Raiders are at the Kansas City Chiefs this week.
It's fun because it's Rashee Rice week.
Yes.
We've been waiting for 6 weeks. He's finally back. If you have him in fantasy, you're definitely starting him. However they say they're going to ease him back in, like I think he's going to play. I mean, it's been over. I think he would have played week 1. He was healthy enough to play week 1. He tore his LCL in that bizarre play where like Mahomes ran into him, and basically I remember our title in that episode was Mahomes cooked rice. Like Mahomes literally tore Rashee Rice's LCL, and then he was suspended. So he's been able to practice with the team since week 4. So I do think he's going to be like integrated immediately and worthy of a start. It's funny, the Chiefs are 3-3. They're almost like a fantasy team. Like that was kind of the goal, right? It was like if you can go 3-3 with Rashee Rice on your bench, you'll be in a good place.
Right.
And so that's kind of where the Chiefs are. They're scheduled now. When you look back, you're like, all right, they lost to a good Chargers team when they were healthy week 1 in Brazil. They lost to the Eagles by 3, beat the Ravens. They beat the Giants. They beat the Ravens with Lamar mostly. They beat the Giants. They handled the Lions, and then they lost a weird game to the Jags. I'm excited to see, like, I think Mahomes is playing awesome right now. And now that you have Worthy, Rice, Hollywood Brown, and Travis Kelce, those 3 wide receivers, Brown, Rice, and Worthy, have never played a single snap together in the regular season.
Really?
No,
wow.
0. They played 1 in the preseason, 1 snap in the preseason. So I don't know. I think Mahomes is playing great. I think Travis Kelce looks like fine for his old age, and I think the spread's 11.5. Like they expected them to kick. They're at home.
The spread even kind of tells the story. It's an old school like Chiefs Raiders spread. Like Mahomes has shredded. Sure. I think Mahomes threw 4 touchdown passes in a quarter or something against the Raiders once. Like they're like, I think Mahomes is 8-2 versus the Raiders or something crazy, 10-2. But I agree, Craig. Like I'm trying to pull up what are the Super Bowl odds right now, because
they were 9-1 last week. I'm sure they're higher now.
I think 9-1's the lowest, or some of the better odds you'll get on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl in 2 or 3 years, because I kind of just think the Chiefs. I'm just in
on the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm buying the Chiefs hard right now.
Needless to say, in fantasy, play Rashee Rice. It's too late to trade for him right now. Like whoever has him is going to want to keep him. But yeah, it's all these guys slot down in a way that just makes sense. Like Xavier Worthy being a number 2 isn't that quite that simple, but Worthy being 2. Hollywood Brown, the first receiver taken in the 2019 draft, being your 3rd guy. Kelce being Kelsey's probably the best fourth option in the entire league. You know what I mean? That is all just unbelievable. The only weird thing going on with the Chiefs right now is Josh Simmons, the rookie left tackle, who one of the narratives of the Chiefs was, wow, they got him with the at the end of at the end of the first round, and he had an injury at Ohio State, and wow, like he's recovery and he's able to play for them, and he was playing well for them. And we don't know exactly what's going on. I don't want to speculate, but what we know right now is basically, so the Chiefs Lions game is Sunday Night Football. The teams do a walkthrough during the day, like with no pads, just like practice themselves. And Josh Simmons, just wasn't at the walkthrough. And then he just hasn't been with the team this week. And then apparently he's in California and don't really know what's going on with that. And so obviously a ton of things could happen with that. A family emergency, 100 things could be the reason. And the Chiefs came out and Andy Reid basically said, I'm not going to talk about it. And the GM, Brett Veach, will handle those questions. And he's on it. And Mahomes came out and just said, I'm praying for Josh. I'm praying for all my teammates, and I'll keep private conversations private. But even reporters on Tuesday or Wednesday were describing it as a bizarre situation, which frankly, if it was some family medical emergency, I don't think reporters would be 48 hours later saying it's bizarre. And I think the team, generally speaking, when something like that happens, the team puts out a milquetoast statement, or a coach says something like, yeah, they're dealing with a personal matter and it'll take how long it takes. And, we support them and they'll be back when they're back. And the Chiefs haven't done that. So don't know what's going on with that. Hopefully everything is okay. But weirdly, other than that, the Chiefs have all their players, and the Bills are banged up to shit. The Lions are banged up to shit. Ravens are destroyed. Chiefs are fine.
Yeah, their odds now they were 9-1 before the Sunday night game last week. They're now 6.5-1, which is tied for the lowest odds with the Bills. So they're now technically tied as the favorites.
It feels that way too. I mean, just if you watch the Chiefs, they feel like the old Chiefs in terms of the high flying, super high scoring, can basically do whatever they want on offense. Craig, like you mentioned, that Jags game was kind of weird. Mahomes threw a pick 6 on the 1 yard line. And that completely changed the game. Probably would have been a very different outcome if he hadn't done that. So there's just, their offense feels like it's back. And that's obviously huge for them.
It's going to come down to the division games, honestly. Them losing to the Chargers hurts. I think what's tough is them being in the same division as Denver and the Chargers. I kind of think all of those teams are going to be around 11-6, 10-7, and it's going to be jockeying in the last month of the season to see who can actually win and get that home field.
Yeah, we'll see how it stacks. But I mean, if the Chiefs stay healthy, then it's hard to beat a team with Mahomes that's also healthy when so many of the other special quarterbacks are just not on healthy teams. Another game here. So this Patriots are at the Tennessee Titans. This is unbelievable. The obvious revenge. The obvious prologue here is just, obviously Mike Vrabel is the coach of the Titans. They fired him. They replaced him with Brian Callahan. They literally fired Brian Callahan as Titans coach this week because, let's be honest, they were so afraid that Mike Vrabel was going to kick the shit out of them and they'd have to fire Brian Callahan and they'd be embarrassed about it, though they just did it preemptively. The more I said that out loud, what a humiliating way for a business that's allegedly worth $4 billion to run. We're going to hire the guy in charge of the team because we're afraid that the guy he replaced is going to kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, I feel like the Pats are going to win this game by 25.
So I was going to say the line is 7. Single digits? What?
The Patriots low-key are playing very well right now. Obviously, they haven't faced a lot of very good opponents, which may be why the
and they won't all year.
I was going to say, they're playing the Titans, who are the worst team in the league. I'm we're going to just basically the interim coach is Mike McCoy, who is bounced all over.
Kind of forgot he was around. He was the Chargers head coach for 3 years in the mid 2010s. They were terrible.
He was the coach at the end of the Chargers era. This senior offensive assistant who was, maybe Mike McCoy rallies the troops here and gets the Titans.
I was going to say, I don't feel that, because usually there's the coach fired, the interim coach bump. Right. I don't feel that with Mike McCoy.
I don't think so either. I think, I actually kind of want to mark this for later for Ringer 107 for picks. I think the Patriots are going to atomize the Titans. I think this is going to be a run up the score, kick the shit out of them in every regard. The Patriots, Drake May just looks awesome. We've talked about this, but Drake May is playing incredible. Booty, Diggs. Henderson actually, is Pablo Torre going to do an episode on this fucking Travion Henderson nameplate?
I think I mentioned this specifically on the show. We got to get Pablo to go and investigate the nameplate. My favorite part of this is there's people trying to tell us that the nameplate is normal and it's the same size.
Those are bots.
Dude, it's not because of the stripes on their shoulder pads. Go look at Ramondre Stevenson's fucking name.
The people saying it's normal.
They have the same number of letters in their name. Why is Ramondre Stevenson's normal?
I think Travion doesn't want people to be able to read his name when he's.
You have to like squint.
Well, who is this someone guy? Pointed out to us that he's just so much smaller, that his jersey's smaller, and they pointed out the numbers actually wrap around his rib cage because he's kind of slender. That I actually noticed.
I'm sorry, he's the only guy in the league who has this. Yeah.
It's biggest numbers, smallest letters.
Anyway,
lowest yards per carry.
Pablo Torre is going to get to the bottom of this, he said. So that's good. When he's not getting to the bottom of actually really big stories.
I feel like that would take him 5 minutes. You figure that out.
I know. He's going to tweet it. I figured it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't play any of the Titans. I wouldn't play Tony Pollard. I wouldn't play Ridley. Like, maybe if they come out and they look good with an interim coach, cool. But I kind of think Mike Vrabel is going to throw everything he has, which I know sounds stupid sometimes, but he's already, in my mind, one of the best game planning coaches there is week to week. And the Titans have so many weaknesses. Cam Ward has so many weaknesses, that careless turnovers. I'm like, this is Patriots going to destroy it, man. You play Diggs, play all these guys. Henderson, we'll wait to see it. All these games suck. I really wasn't being hyperbolic. All these games are awful. This game to me is even worse. The Panthers are at the Jets, and the Panthers are favored. DK, did you think you would see the Panthers favored in a game?
Not after the way the season started, that's for sure.
Well, when the line opened, the Jets were favored. The 0-6 Jets were favored to beat the Panthers, who are 3-3.
Oh, that's
who's more insulted?
The Panthers have been playing pretty well lately.
I think if you're 3-3 and you are favored and you are getting points against the fucking 0-6 Jets, that's extreme disrespect.
Yeah, so I'd say the Panthers have actually looked decent lately. The offense is starting to come together. Obviously, Rico Dowdle has reinvigorated this offense, and he looks amazing. I think Chuba might be coming back, but I'm guessing Dowdle will still be, the lead back, whatever that means. I don't know exactly how they're going to split it up.
You know that it's not a meme, but it's a video that, forget his name, but he's funny. He does a bunch of videos, but he's pretending to be the starting quarterback, and he's on the sideline watching. He's like, yeah, that guy's pretty good for a backup quarterback. And all the teammates are like, no, fuck that. He's better than the starter. And he's like, well, he's not. He's not better than the starter. I'm pretty good. And they're like, no, this guy's the truth. They're like, I just feel like that is Chuba Hubbard was rooting for Rico Dowdle. And I wonder at what point Chuba Hubbard realized he's not getting this job back.
Is this the funniest combination of names when you say the sentence, Rico Dowdle might Wally Pip Chuba Hubbard?
That's the new Star Wars show they're spinning off.
What the fuck are these names? Rico Dowdle might Wally Pip Chuba Hubbard.
This is my fear that if I go on paternity leave one day and then you guys kind of replace me for 3 months and then just don't need me to come back. That's my biggest fear.
We would never do that, Craig. You're better than that.
Unless we get Rico Dowdle on the show. Yeah. He's great. What if Rico Dowdle just has just unbelievable fantasy analysis? Rico Dowdle just starts making The Town with Matt Bellany.
He's got incredible insights.
Unbelievably salient points on Disney streaming.
He starts rewatching old Arnold Schwarzenegger movies from the 80s. I'm like, damn it, this guy's covering every corner.
Encyclopedic knowledge.
He's like, Bill, you missed one on Robert Redford month. Oh my God.
All right. So anyways, for this game, there's not a lot to say here. I think obviously, like I said, the Panthers offense is looking pretty good relative to what they were looking at the beginning of the year. Ted McMillan scored 2 touchdowns in this last game. He's looking much better, or he's looking really solid. He looks like a future star, I think, in the league. Jalen Coker is due back soon. I think Bryce Young, he hasn't been great, but he's starting to improve. If you look at some of the numbers, he has 10 touchdowns, 5 picks, 84 passer rating. He's 19th in PFF grade. So he's been fine. He hasn't been good, but he's been fine, I guess, over the last few weeks.
I think Coker is somebody to go out and add. It'll still say IR next to his name, but he's practicing in full. I would definitely go out and add him. Leggett has not been great. I would say Coker's going to be the number 2 guy outside of Ted McMillan. And then, on the Jets, I guess you can still start.
We didn't even mention Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's hurt, and I don't know if Garrett Wilson's even playing this game. He probably shouldn't.
No, I don't believe he's already listed as doubtful. I don't think he's play. You're playing Breece Hall because he's getting a lot of work, but
dude, the Jets are I know I just keep hammering away at this, but the Jets are. It is DK used to joke that the Giants can't get touchdowns. The Jets can't get first downs. The Jets cannot move the football at all. It is unbelievable how infrequently they can get a first down. It's amazing.
Well, the big part of that and a huge part of the reason for that is, well, number one, Fields isn't a very good passer, but maybe like even more importantly, he just takes so many sacks. That's the problem. He has second to last in sack rate, 13%. Only Cam Ward has taken more sacks this year than Justin Fields.
Justin Fields has been in the NFL for 5 seasons.
And this is also an offensive line that we thought was going to be pretty solid. Like they've been spending a lot of draft resources on this offensive line. It's not necessarily the line's fault. It's just Fields doesn't get rid of the ball. He's always late on everything. The only saving grace for Fields in fantasy, and I think you can still start Fields. He's one of those guys that's going to be a little bit feast or famine. If he has a terrible game, it might look terrible, but he runs so much that it's actually
you're playing.
You just
Fields
kind of have to start him
for the rushing. I've been saying he's been getting all this work in garbage time, and we kind of say that, but I'm like, no, all of the points have been garbage time. We'll see if there is garbage time. I just look. We said before the season, why did this offensive coordinator for the Jets came with Aaron Glenn from the Lions? Why did the Lions hire an outside guy and not this guy? Obviously, if it was all equal, you'd take the Lions job, not the Jets job. Why would you leave? Not great. And again, Fields isn't good, but I think to be this bad, multiple things have to be wrong. You can't, this is not great coordination or great quarterbacking. This is bad coordination and bad quarterbacking. Like everything has to go wrong for it to be this bad. And the
Fields he'll be a backup next year.
Fields, the one thing else, just this stat from Bill Barnwell this week blew me away.
Even before that.
Justin Fields took 9 sacks against the Broncos last week. All 9 sacks came 5 seconds or longer into the snap.
5 seconds.
So he took 9 sacks.
He's just like running around.
Get rid of the fucking ball. Like this is the story of his career. Anyway, there's no excuse.
He should go be like the Ravens backup, and if LeBron gets hurt, he can just run like RPOs with Derrick Henry.
I want to ask you. So on FanDuel, they have odds on when the Jets will win their next game. And I regret not bringing this up next week. I've never seen this on FanDuel. Maybe they've done it. I've never seen this before, where they're like, when are they going to win? And I regret not getting great odds in the past.
When are they going to win?
So the Panthers this week, it's even money, basically. Bengals the week after is 3-1. Browns 3 weeks from now is like almost 5-1. Okay. Patriots in 4 weeks is 20-1. Ravens in 5 weeks is 40-1. Falcons in 6 weeks is 22-1. So it's kind of like, if you think the Panthers win this game, there is money to be made here, is my point. I kind of don't think the Jets win this. I don't know if the Jets win this week. I don't know if the Jets beat the Bengals. I'm looking at the
on
Browns.
December 7th. What are you looking at?
I mean, the Browns in 3 weeks, 5-1.
What if what is the Bills on January 3rd? Is that the last game of the season? Yeah. What if you bet that and the Bills bench all their players?
That is 250-1.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Honestly, not a bad. I mean,
That's
good God,
so
if they lose to the Bengals, the Browns, and the Dolphins, Jesus Christ.
So it's pretty bad. God, it's what a horrific thing. Well, speaking of FanDuel, the Ringer Fantasy Football Show is brought to you by FanDuel. And FanDuel is turning up the heat every Sunday with Power Hour, every Sunday from 3 to 5 Eastern. FanDuel is giving you a profit boost to use on live bets during the most intense stretch of the NFL slate. This is when games flip, underdogs rally, parlays hit. Games we think will come down to the wire this weekend. Not Pats-Titans. Maybe Panthers. Eagles-Vikings. Just because, I mean, I feel like the Eagles got to blow the Vikings out for it to not come out to the wire. I don't think the Vikings are going to have a massive lead on the Eagles. If they did, it would be kind of funny.
They don't get a massive lead on anybody.
No, they don't. So I think the Eagles-Vikings will come down to the wire. It feels like all the Eagles games do. So it's called Power Hour for a reason, and it happens every Sunday only on FanDuel. Head to FanDuel.com/RingerFantasy to get started. Must be 21 plus and present in select states or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Late games. These are way better.
Yeah,
we just got back from pumpkin picking. I love pumpkins, by the way. I'm obsessed. I love pumpkins.
Like, you love carving them or eating them?
Both.
Eating's third. I love having pumpkins and I love carving pumpkins.
Yeah,
but I love pumpkins.
I love pumpkin pie.
Yeah,
I make a really good homemade pumpkin pie from scratch.
How do you make pumpkin pie?
It's pumpkin puree with like sugar and spices and eggs and stuff like that, and you just put it in a pie crust.
Craig's a big baker.
Yeah,
I love pumpkin pie.
I actually have a great pumpkin pie recipe from Claire Saffitz. It's really good.
Will you send it my way?
Yeah.
All right.
Will you send me a piece
in the mail like I did banana bread that one?
Yeah. Will you make we're coming to town this week. Will you make us pie?
Honestly, that'd be pretty funny.
He's like,
make us pie. Make us pie.
They would never allow this, but it'd be funny if the Major Domo guys let us just like use their kitchen.
Oh my God.
That would never work.
If Dave Chang is listening, can we please use your kitchen so Craig can make a pie? Or you could just make us food too, but also like we
it's really good. It's a caramelized honey pumpkin pie. It's very good.
Wow. Okay, now we'll talk about it.
And I make the crust from scratch, no big deal.
That is a big deal. It's so much easier to like cheat and just buy a pie crust, but that's a big deal if you make your own crust.
Thank you.
Totally.
It would probably suck, but
should we come to your house? You know what? We'll talk about this later. I don't think anyone cares.
Colts-Chargers. I researched this game. I have a lot of thoughts on this game. However, the only thing I want to talk about is, did you guys see the jerseys that they're wearing? The Chargers?
No,
I did not.
I just texted you a photo, so look at that. And I'm out. I'm taking the Colts.
Wait, let me see these jerseys.
They are bright Chargers? Yellow.
Check your text. I just said it.
Oh, these are really bad.
You know what these look like?
Charger Power?
They're called the Charger Power threads.
They look like a flag.
It looks like your urine when you're dehydrated yellow.
Bad teammate.
They're like
horrible.
Bad teammate.
Wait, we should put out with the show. We should put a Photoshop with the chart with the urine color, or we should put these Chargers jerseys as the bottom color on the chart.
It's an abomination. It's terrible. It looks so bad with the light blue.
Yeah.
They look like a high noon.
The Chargers are renowned for having some of the best uniforms in professional sports.
Oh, I know exactly what this looks like. I know exactly what this is. The Red Sox Marathon Monday jerseys. It's like the same exact thing.
It's so bad.
Justin Herbert looks like a
yellow
fucking
jersey and the yellow pants.
Why?
Horrible.
Not good.
No.
If they would have done like white pants, I would have been okay with this, but no.
Madison Beard should have thrown her body in front of this. She shouldn't have allowed this.
Still can.
But anyway, I think this is like the funnest game of the week. I guess now that we can watch these like yellow uniforms run around, but I think Lions and Bucks is really fun, but Chargers Colts is great. The Colts are leading the league in points, 32 points a game. One thing we'll say about the Colts are a wagon. They're America's team. Indiana Jones is America's quarterback. All that stuff. However, they've kind of beaten no one. They beat Denver, they're a good team, but that was a game that
the
was
best defense in the NFL.
That was the leverage game. They probably should have lost. Then they beat outside of Denver. They beat the Dolphins, the Titans, the Raiders, and the Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett barely. And they lost to the Rams. With that said, Colts are wagon.
As Bill always talks about the good bad team and the bad good team, and on one hand, it's hard to keep track of which is which. But he's right. There are bad teams that beat all the other ones, or good teams that I can never explain it. But I know what he means.
No, I get it. The Colts could be a good bad team.
Yeah.
Where they're a good bad team is the bad team that beats up on other bad teams. A bad good team
was like the Chiefs making the Super Bowl last year, but they weren't really good.
Yeah, that one's a little.
Should we call? I don't know what this means still.
The good bad team?
I think they're a good bad team. Well, I don't know, because they're scoring a ton of points.
See, I think the Broncos are a bad good team.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. See, that's why he hosts the
What about the Chargers?
He can explain the Bill stuff.
What are the Chargers?
Are just hurt.
The Chargers, they are hurt.
The Chargers are good. They're just hurt. Yeah.
I'm wondering what the Colts do. I think the Colts are good. I feel like Washington blitzed the shit out of them last week. Obviously, Washington has Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louver, which kind of just positionless blitzing linebackers almost. The Colts can actually match personnel with Washington if they go heavy or whatever. But obviously the Chargers are weak at tackle because they lost the left tackle, lost the right tackle, and they're also the center. Bradley Bozeman's having a tough time. Like it's left, right. It quite literally is left, right, and center issues on the offensive line for the Chargers.
And I don't think Joe Alt's playing. He's like back at practice a little bit.
No, I do want to say it's funny. I was going to make a joke. Craig, you actually cited the stat, but I was going to joke that, the Chargers, despite all that, Justin Herbert, Chargers have the most points in the league, most yards in the league, most first. And I was like, oh, no, sorry. That's Daniel Jones and the Colts. Yeah. And I will say, kind of like the Jags, how many games could they win? How many weeks in a row could the Colts have the most points in first downs and yards until we acknowledge Daniel Jones is good? And I have this weird mix of pride for my baby boy, who I on one hand, I love Daniel Jones, and I actually have no ill will whatsoever toward him as a guy. Like zero ill will watching him. And a small part of me is like, should we have kept him? Like, this is so weird, but I love Dart. So it's just kind of, it's like not like the Saquon thing at all. Like, I actually am just happy for him. But when do we acknowledge this is happening? This is a lot like Darnold-lesh with the Vikings. We're even 6 weeks in, we're like, well, we won't reassess our priors on this guy. And it took like 9 weeks for us to be like, okay, I think Darnold's good.
It's a breakup. The Giants and Daniel Jones were a breakup where both sides are probably better off. Like, it's just the wrong fit.
But Jones is playing well. Jones is doing a lot of things well in this offense for whatever reason. There's similarities to what the Giants had, actually, because the solid line, Saquon was there, John Taylor, but obviously Shane Steichen's doing a great job. But I don't know. It's funny because in some ways Jones is almost like a discount Hurts, honestly, from Steichen. I don't know. But he's making, but I'm not going to say better. That's not what I'm saying. But Jones is fitting passes at windows that honestly, I kind of didn't think he had the arm strength to do anymore. I've been impressed. The anticipation, all those things. He's
like finally fully healthy, and for the first
time health is huge.
Time.
And how many times did I joke about just where's the awareness of where defenders are? I think kind of like Darnold. He was
seeing ghosts.
It took 5 years, but I kind of think the game has slowed down.
Yeah, for Jones, he's not taking. Jones, I feel like used to take sacks all the time. He's not taking any sacks.
Yeah, that's
year.
a huge thing.
He has a career low 2.7% sack rate, which is also a league low this year. Very impressive. We just need him to stay healthy. So, keep any pregame elastic bands away from Daniel Jones.
I was going to say no band work for Jones. The last thing I'll say here, let's just say the Colts win 14 games.
Okay.
I feel like Kevin O'Connell is great with quarterbacks and he's a great coach, but also we quick to credit him because he's hot. Kevin O'Connell's very hot. I feel like Shane Steichen's just kind of an average-looking duel. He's tall, but he's an average-looking guy, so we don't rush to be like, Shane Steichen, what an awesome job. Just saying.
Well, that's because he doesn't have as long of a history of doing an awesome job.
I think it's because the Colts haven't been great since he's been there until now.
You think it's because Richardson sucked? Yeah.
He had the stink of Richardson on him for the last 3 years. True. I think is the issue.
Anyway, I'm blown away by the Colts. It's really cool.
It's awesome. It's super fun to watch. On the other side of the ball, interesting for fantasy, I think. One, Quentin Johnson, hamstring, questionable. I think you're playing Ladd McConkey regardless. Yeah. Keenan Allen, I think, if Quentin Johnson doesn't play, I think you can play Keenan Allen because the Colts secondary is a mess. They just made Jacoby Brissett look like prime Ben Roethlisberger. So I think you can play both those receivers if Quentin Johnson's out. The one guy I wanted to talk about is I feel like Kamani Vidal, the backup Chargers running back who looked great. I want to just pose the possibility that perhaps he's not just like a home run and that he might be a little bit of a sell high. They played Miami last week, who let up 200 yards as a Rico Dowdle the week before, and then Kamani Vidal went crazy. He had 3 giant runs of like 20 to 30 yards. Outside of those, he was 15 carries for 46 yards. And they had the hot hand approach where it was like, we're going to see who pops first, and it was Vidal, and they gave it to Vidal. I'm just wondering if I don't know. If there's a chance it could be much more of an even split this week, and if Haskins could be the guy punching in touchdowns.
It would be the most fantasy thing ever.
It would. It's like Greg Roman doing the 2 running back thing. I just wanted to I don't think you should drop Hassan Haskins just yet, I think is my
that's interesting. I think definitely if you have the opportunity to sell him for somebody good.
If you look at last week, there's one stat that stood out to me. On Kamani Vidal's runs, he had 3.5 yards before contact. He wasn't touched for 3.5 yards. Hassan Haskins was -1.
Well, so on that note, I think it's funny you say that. I think you're right. This is the right question. You know how we always get frustrated when coaches are like riding the hot hand?
Yeah.
I think it took me too long to realize how to communicate what that means. It means they don't fucking know either who they should play. They don't know. They are trying.
They're also ranking them next to each other.
They quite literally also are like, they would listen to our show, be like, yeah, Vidal, Haskins, who do we play? And they're sitting there being like, this media, they don't know, but really, who do we play though? So what happens is you play Vidal that first drive, he does fine. They play Haskins. So the first drive versus Miami, the Chargers went down 11 plays, they got a field goal. The second play, the second drive, it just kind of got stuffed and there was a fumble. It wasn't Haskins. But so it was Vidal first drive, Haskins second drive. Third drive, nothing's happened yet. Vidal has a 38-yard run. And they're like, all right, we're just going to go with that. That is all it is. It really. And he succeeded.
Also, didn't they cut him at the beginning of the year and
practice
bring him
back? Squad. But I think that sometimes is like other considerations.
Well, what I'm saying is they obviously don't think he's a superstar if they cut him.
So I think you're right, Craig. Vidal will not be as good going forward as he was this week. There is a chance Haskins does get the hot hand. There's a chance neither of them are ever as good as they were last week because they play the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are the worst defense in the NFL by a lot.
Yeah.
Having said that, Vidal's value is I definitely think he's a better pass catcher than Haskins. And if the Chargers start falling behind, I think Vidal is a mix of he can do what he did last week with 120 rushing yards, whatever. But I also think Vidal could have, I'm not going to call him James White, but he is the thickest fucking young pass catching running back I've ever seen. Like he's almost like CJ Anderson, where you're like, wow, smooth hands on the big guy who talked like Vidal is a thick, but don't let his size fool you. Like he's going to be 2-minute drill guy. So anyway. He will have value no matter what.
CJ Anderson, remember when he was like incredibly important in the playoffs?
Remember when Todd Gurley got hurt and CJ Anderson came in and said, I put on pregnancy weight in solidarity with my wife who was eating a lot in her third trimester, and then he ran for 210 yards?
That was
rumbling.
It's like 2018. What was that?
That was, 2018.
Those were the days.
That was wild. Dude. He literally, for opening press conference, he's like, I put on man pregnancy weight. It's his first thing he said to the media. Great guy. Okay. Anything else on Colts-Chargers?
No. Change those jerseys, please.
All right. So Washington Commanders are at Dallas this week. So CeeDee Lamb might return this week. CeeDee Lamb's been out a month with a high ankle sprain. CeeDee might come back. I don't care. More importantly, you know what else might come back this week? The sun.
Oh. Now we're talking.
Jerry Henge,
now we're talking.
baby.
Maybe CD shouldn't come back.
This is maybe not. This is Dallas's first game, so that at home this year in the 3:00 p.m. Central time slot. Dallas played at home in Green Bay. That was at night. The Dallas played at home versus the Giants. That was at noon Central. This is at 3:00. Brian Schottenheimer was asked about it.
A ridiculous quote. A ridiculous quote from Brian Schottenheimer.
Brian Schottenheimer.
What did you expect, Greg?
So for those who don't know, I'm referencing how last year when the sun from the fucking Jerry World blinded CeeDee Lamb
from catching a touchdown. Curtains.
Dude,
for fuck's sake.
The best part of my entire week, bar none, was going back through all the sun stuff. Because reporters, John Machado at The Athletic, who does a great job, asked, how do you feel about your first sun game? And Schottenheimer said, if you guys could see the process and the plan we have in place to figure it out, we have satellite imaging. We have pictures of the sun when it's coming down.
You're not supposed to look at the sun, so we've taken pictures of it.
He said, we have pictures of the sun when it's coming down. He said, there's a big plan and process.
Just put up fucking curtains.
What are they doing with the pictures? They're looking at them?
They're looking.
Look, here's a photo of the sun.
We have pictures of the sun. He said the opponent's plan for the end of the day, something whereof it's beautiful. He says it's majestic when the sun comes through here.
Come on.
So I use this as an excuse to go back and look at all the things Jerry Jones said about this last year. Because I was like, what happened to this again?
It's very beautiful. It's majestic.
It's majestic when it comes through.
Oh, I hate these.
So I forgot. I think this is what top 5 most fun I've ever had doing our show. Maybe higher is the Jerry Jones Sun drama from last year. And I was like, what happened with that? So the Eagles beat Dallas in Dallas 34-6. The low light of which was CeeDee Lamb dropping a touchdown in the end zone.
The highlight,
blinded by the highlight of my year.
Oh.
Blinded by the sun. And CeeDee Lamb after was like, can we put up curtains? And people point out that I forget if it was before and after, the Jake Paul, Logan Paul boxing match with Tyson was 4 days later.
Curtains.
And they put curtains up for it. And CeeDee Lamb's like,
they've got him. They have to take him down for the game.
Yes, they took him down for the game, quite literally. So,
God damn it.
A reporter last year when this happened asked Jerry Jones, why don't you put up curtains during the game? And I forgot how good it was.
No, why do you take down the curtains for the game?
Jerry Jones said, and I quote, well, let's tear the damn stadium down and build another one. Are you kidding me?
This is such a politics answer. It's like, that doesn't make any sense, dude, man. What are you talking about?
And then Jerry went on and said, I'm saying.
Very different from tearing down the whole stadium. No, you're putting a piece of cloth up so it blocks out the sun.
No, tear the stadium down, build a new one. Facing the opposite direction.
We're going to move Bikini Bottom, just spin it 90 degrees. That would also work. There's so many answers. So Jerry Jones went on and said, I forgot how good it was. I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance.
Almost.
He said, someone asked me about the sun. I'm like, what about the sun? Where's the moon?
Right.
The moon does affect tides and whatnot. So, and maybe other things. I don't know.
This man is the number one force in why the NFL is like just absolutely hurtling toward $20 billion a year. And
dude,
he's like, where's the moon?
I'm looking at these pictures from this game last year against, or I don't know when it was, against the Giants. These players are just white. You can't see any defining features on their uniforms because the sun is blocking it out.
And like, it is impossible to play sports with the sun in your eyes. Like, it's genuinely very crazy.
You can't see shit. Think about when you're driving into a sunset. You can't see anything.
It's the single most relatable thing athletes talk about.
Can we put this up on somewhere? Because this is ridiculous. You can't even see the player. It's like he's being burnt to a crisp.
It looks like a helicopter is spotlighting him.
Just trying to catch the ball in
I cannot wait for this game. And also this is Tom Brady. I cannot wait to have Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt try to announce the game. Even the television, when they would cut to behind the offense, the TV cameras are getting like completely out of focus because of the amount of sunlight.
It's majestic though.
It's majestic.
Do you think Brady is going to get pregame access to the satellite information or no? Are they going to allow that?
I saw a story in Wired this week about how satellites are not encrypted, which that's not our show or what we do, but it actually blew my fucking mind. Anyway, that's not the point.
Dude, the DK, this first photo you sent, I don't know who that is catching the ball because I can't see them at all. Do you remember the scene in one of
I literally can't make out who that is.
It's crazy.
Can't even see his number.
Do you know the scene? Remember, I forget which Austin Powers it was, but the one where Dr. Evil breaks out of prison and he's like caught in the spotlight.
Yeah. He's like,
literally what this looks like.
Hard Knock Life. It's so
good. Is
that
Gold member? I don't remember.
Oh my God. It's so good.
Tim and Mini-Me, I think.
Actually, we have... it is. It's Gold member. I know Gold member. Actually, Craig, can you do a little bit of I think we actually have a little snippet from the game on Sunday of Tom Brady announcing what it's like what the sun is like in playing.
The sun brings a lot of juice, and you need to block it. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult for these quarterbacks out there, KB. Maybe add a visor. I think they look pretty cool if you ask me. Let's fucking go.
You had a long playing career, Tom. Did you ever look into the sun?
Let's go.
Oh,
it's unbelievable. Okay, I know there's other analysis we could do. The Cowboys defense sucks, but I can't wait.
You literally can't see who this player is.
This is a wheels up game. McLaurin might be back in this game as well.
The Cowboys are giving up 412 yards per game on average. You play everybody on Washington. Bill Merritt, Jaden, obviously, Debo, McLaurin, play Zach Ertz, the problem is, 412. What's 412 divided by? Can we divide it by how many minutes? Can we just figure out where the sun will be and just take out whatever I guess we don't know.
No, it's too hard.
How could we figure out where the sun will be? Oh my God. Wait, I just remembered this is the origin of why we argued about Stonehenge in the first place.
Is that right?
Because this is why Stonehenge originally came up about why we can build Stonehenge.
They knew almost a year ahead of time
Jerry's
where the sun would be.
We know where the sun will be. And we were like, we've known where the sun will be for so fucking long that Stonehenge is a goddamn sun calendar.
Sometimes you can only authentically be this funny. You couldn't write it. Like him saying almost a year in advance.
Almost a year.
It's better than anything you could come up with on your own.
Dude.
Do you think fans could smuggle in curtains and hold them up?
Oh my God. That's good. Idea. Everyone just...
Yeah. Wow. Like Nathan Fielder should commission 40 people to just smuggle in curtains and create their own curtains.
That's great.
I've always felt that the whole thing was a Nathan Fielder for you pitch of all right, we're going to pay $1 billion for the stadium. You're going to be the first person. And also the scoreboard will be so low that the punters can hit it. Also, it will blind the players. Anyway. God, I can't wait for this fucking football game. Okay. God, this is the stupidest, best sport ever. All right. The Giants are at Denver.
How you feeling about this?
I feel pretty concerned. I'm a little worried that this Scatterboo Dart vibes are I don't know. It's kind of like the stock market. Are we in a bubble? Is this an AI bubble? Or are we in a Dart Scatterboo booping each other bubble of wow, we had a 10-day runway here. It's hey, the vibes are great. These guys communicate like dogs or whatever. And they're just weird. But now the Giants are facing the best defense in the NFL. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
The Broncos.
I'm a little concerned.
I'm just saying.
I'm a little concerned.
The Broncos lead the NFL in quarterback sacks. The Broncos lead the NFL in quarterback pressure rate, total and by rate. Broncos defense has allowed 4 touchdowns this season. which I did a double take. Nick Bonito is by far the best pass rusher in the NFL this season.
He is probably defensive player of the year.
Has to be. Nick Bonito leads the NFL in sacks, but also eye test easily the best defender. But also, if you look at advanced stats, Bill Barnwell always does a great job of this at ESPN, which is the simplest thing, but no one talks about this enough, which is how many pressures you have compared to how many pass rush snaps you've had, which people don't add in that context enough. Nick Bonito.
It's like targets per route run or something.
Yes, exactly. And it's like Nick Bonito has, I wrote this down. Nick Bonito has double just to pick one player, he has double the sacks of Max Crosby, who's obviously a great player. And most people would probably think Max Crosby's a better pass rusher than Nick Bonito. Nick Bonito has double the sacks. But Max Crosby has had 100 more pass rush snaps than Nick Bonito, and he has half the total. Nick Bonito is he is pressuring the quarterback on more than a fifth of his pass rushes, which is crazy. So anyway, Nick Bonito is amazing. The Broncos defense is amazing. Patrick Surtain launched a podcast, which that could be a huge issue for the Broncos.
Interesting.
I don't know if players start doing great after that, but anyway, I will say my concern. Sorry, I know I'm just ranting, but the Broncos defense is great, but the Broncos also limit mobile quarterbacks really well. Like Daniel Jones had 2 rushing yards versus the Broncos. Justin Herbert had 6 rushing yards versus the Broncos. Jalen Hurts had 3 rushing yards versus the Broncos. Justin Fields had 31 rushing yards, but lost 55 in sacks. So net negative 25 there or whatever it is. So I am concerned. What happens to Jackson Dart when the Broncos clearly are controlling the game? Now, whatever happens, the Broncos clearly are good at dictating it. If they want Dart, yeah, sure, keep taking hits, kid. Like, we're fucking going to mess you up. Or they're going to be like, yeah, sit there and be a pocket passer, see what happens. I think there's going to be a lot of post-coverage rotation stuff after the 15-second mark. Like Dable is doing to Dart what McVay did with Jared Goff in like 2017, where it's like, we're going to, hey, hurry the play clock up. I want you to see the defense so I can just tell you exactly what is, you know what I mean? I think like Dable's trying to help him out. I think the Broncos going to change a lot of looks after the 15-second mark because that's when you can't talk to them on the radio anymore. And I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about the best defense in the NFL messing up Dart, who I love, but he's gotten hurt 3 times already.
Dart is basically averaging like 20 points a game as a starter in fantasy, which is like he's like the QB 10. Heifetz, I would say a lot of people who had like Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, guys like that, they then added Dart. Dart's been great. They've been starting him every week. Do you think if they kind of have one of those lower end quarterbacks in that range, Jordan Love, Lawrence, Kyler Murray, do you think you should start all those guys over Dart, even though Dart's been really good?
I think going forward on a week-to-week basis, the answer is probably going to be Dart. I think probably this week, probably not. Like if you had Jordan Love as a good example, I would play Jordan Love over Dart. I don't like Dart this week. I love Dart. I even for fantasy purposes, like, I think Dart is good, but I do not like Dart versus Denver. Again, Jalen Hurts had, I have it, 3 rushing yards versus Denver. Daniel Jones had 2 rushing yards versus Denver. Like, if the Denver doesn't want Jackson Dart to run, he will not. And if they let him run, it's because they think he won't be able to get first downs that way. So this week, no. Going forward, I think Dart is still going to be a great fantasy asset. You can play him, obviously, but
I'm going to play Dart.
Do you think / want them to trade for a wide receiver in New York?
It depends on the price. I know a lot of people throwing out Jacoby Myers, all this stuff. I think the Giants have, look, if it will help Dart's development, sure. Like Josh Allen with the Bills, trading for Stephon, obviously that was in the offseason, but they traded for Stephon Diggs because they felt that Josh Allen's deep ball was way better than the numbers suggest, but they had bad deep ball tracking receivers. Diggs was an incredible one that was available, so they paid up a first-round pick, and that made Josh Allen. If they have something where they're like, we just need someone to be able to be on time and get Dart reps because Neighbors is out and we want him to have, sure. If they feel like we're going to get fired, even if there's a bad record here, so we got to I don't want to just send out a 2nd-round pick for like, I don't even know, because they're afraid. If you think you can get a disgruntled Jacoby Myers for very cheap, yes. But I don't want to give up a day one. I don't want to give up a 1st, a 2nd, or a 3rd rounder for some rental. I would really, or just even a 4th for like a rental guy who's here for 10 games. That would make me upset.
I know. The question is also kind of like, could the Giants actually do something this year or not?
No, it's about Dart. It's about Dart. Like it's
about his development more.
It's about Dart's development, and if you think you can get, I see how Jacoby Myers could fit.
Yeah,
but overall, I don't want to pay that much for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that was a lot of me ranting. But the only thing I want to say about this game is to answer your original question from forever ago. The thing that gives me hope is Bo Nix isn't playing that well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, the Broncos offense has been really struggling. So, I mean, that does give you a chance. Plus, like the Giants defense, the front is really, really strong. I could see them stifle. This is probably going to be a low scoring slog of a game, right? Don't you think?
The unders hit 5 of 6 times for the Broncos. These are the best 2 defensive lines in the league, you could probably say, between Benito and Zach Allen and the Broncos depth and the Giants depth. Like, you can't run on these teams, so we'll see. This will be interesting. Dude, Dart versus fucking Bo Nix, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
Dart and Nix.
Scatterboo, baby. God, I love Scatterboo. Okay, this will be a better window. Next game here, we got Packers are at the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. Right off the bat, both Kyler and Marvin Harrison were limited in practice on Thursday, so it's still unclear whether Kyler's going to be starting. It does look like Marvin Harrison has a chance. He's in the concussion protocol, but he was running around in a yellow jersey. Yeah, so basically we don't know if Kyler's going to play. I'm guessing probably not. Jacoby Brissett was taking the starters reps in practice. I'm guessing they'll play with him one more game while Kyler looks to get healthy. So that's interesting. I think that's good for the Cardinals. They mentioned during the week, the head coach mentioned that they kind of tweaked the offense a little bit for Jacoby Myers based on like what he does better.
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett. And what that meant was more under center dropbacks, which was really interesting. Brissett had 17 dropbacks from under center last week, and Kyler has done that 16 times all season. And Brissett's play action rate was 42%. Kyler's play action rate on the season is only 25%. So that is kind of, I think, one of the big variables that we saw the difference for the Cardinals offense last week versus what we've seen most of the season. Their rushing success rate was far better as well last week than the rest of the season. So I don't know. I think obviously they're totally different quarterbacks, totally different styles, and it's a small sample, so who knows? But it's going to be very interesting to see if Brissett comes in and plays well, what the Cardinals decide to do. Apart from that, I think the fantasy question: Bam Knight versus Michael Carter.
God,
you played Michael.
What do you
Carter.
do with
I
this?
think you play Michael Carter if you have to pick one of them.
I think. Why do you think Michael Carter? Because last week it was pretty split down the middle in terms of usage. Carter got more passing game stuff.
I would play. I mean, if I had to pick, I would play Michael Carter personally. Can I read you one thing though about the point you were making about Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett under center? Mm-hmm. I know I've made fun of Kyler Murray for being short a lot, and maybe people think it's a pot shot. I'm going to read you a quote from John Elway about Kyler Murray.
Okay.
John Elway said, "I will say this. This is 2019 before he got drafted. And you're not supposed to say things like this about players you're not going to draft, but he didn't care because he was going first. And John Elway said, I will say this. Having played the position, when you're shorter and you're in shotgun, it doesn't have nearly the effect because you see so much better at a shotgun. So if you're in shotgun and starting in shotgun, that's the only place you've ever been. You can see the field much better. So the height doesn't matter as much from shotgun. It matters when you are underneath center all the time, because by the time you get back there in the pocket, a lot of times it's caving in on you. He says height matters under center. And so I know I joke about it, but the truth is Jacoby Brissett's 6 fucking inches taller than Kyler Murray, so they can play under center. And I know I joke about it, but it's not a joke. It really is the answer. So they have a totally different offense with when Kyler's out.
I do wonder if there's going to be a little bit of like, Brissett looked really good against Indianapolis, and it's the same spread. It's like 6.5, 7 points. Same thing with the Colts last week. And the game was close. And part of me is like, usually these types of quarterbacks, like the first week pop never sustains.
Yes.
It never lasts.
Right.
And like people are a little bit like off on Green Bay. They had that really great week 1. And then I kind of feel like everyone's basically just stopped talking about the Packers. And part of me a little bit thinks like, could they kick the shit out of the Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett this week?
I have the same thought, Craig.
That's smart. I think you're right. And I think I mentioned this too. It's like at first the backup always looks good. Because,
it's always week 1.
It's different. And again, like you said, this is a totally different offense with Brissett versus Kyler. But then when you get a little bit of tape and you figure out kind of what they're trying to do, you can eliminate those things. And all of a sudden the backup looks pretty lost. So I like this thought.
Especially if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't play.
Well, especially like even Tommy DeVito was all right for a couple games.
Yeah.
And cost the Giants because
it's like, remember the Mike White era?
Yeah, it's like,
oh, totally.
I agree. I think that this is a big comeback to a spot for Arizona.
On the Packers side, I wanted to point out Josh Jacobs is quietly having the best RB4 season that no one talks about even a little bit. Like, have we mentioned Josh Jacobs at all this season? No. I feel like we haven't. He's averaging nearly 20 points per game. He's leading all running backs with almost 20 rush attempts per game. He has 6 touchdowns. He also has 15 catches, which is pretty solid. Mm-hmm. Only Christian McCaffrey is averaging more touches per game than Josh Jacobs. So he's quietly been really good. And I think the other guy that's quietly been very good in fantasy and in real life is Romeo Doubs.
Yeah.
Or Dubs. How do we decide how we say his name? Is it
it's
Dobbs?
Dobbs, right?
Dobbs. He is funny because he's got the skull cap thing on. What's it called? The Guardian cap. And it's like, it makes his head look like it's about 3 sizes.
He looks like a bobblehead right now.
It's so great. But he's averaging 11 points per game. Almost double that of Matthew Golden, who's the second in terms of points per game at the receiver position on the Packers. He's playing 82% of the snaps, which is great. 20% target rate, which is actually very good for any Packers receiver. And he's, I think, proving that he's a very good receiver. I saw these notes from Fantasy Points. He's 10th in separation score, according to Fantasy Points, and 3rd in route win rate. So every time I watch the Packers, I'm like, he just looks really good.
He's very
really
reliable.
Settled in. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just becoming like a Keenan Allen type for Jordan Love, or like he just looks comfortable out there. He's a great route runner. He seems like healthy and very confident. He's like fired up every time. I have him in a league this year, so I kind of watch him very specifically. He just looks like he's a great fit for the offense, and that him and Jordan Love have a really good connection, and he gets open.
Yeah. And importantly, he plays a lot, which is always the problem we have with Packers receivers because they do such a rotation. But he's out there 82% of the time. So I feel pretty confident starting him. I think Matthew Golden is starting to ascend a little bit. We're on that post-bye time where rookies start to get a little bit more comfortable in the offense. His snap rate, Matthew Golden's snap rate has gone up.
Yeah, he looks good.
Every game. His touches and targets are going up. So I think he's another guy to kind of like keep in mind. If he's out on the waiver wire, go grab him. If he might be a buy low type opportunity here, but overall, yeah, I feel good about this Packers offense. So I think I like what you're talking about with maybe, kind of taking the Packers in this game because of the Brissett hype right now.
So again, the most important advice of the week is pumpkin patch for the early slate. Late slate will be good. Sunday Night Football, Falcons are at the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, is that the Sunday night game? Oh, I didn't.
There's 2.
No, it's 2 Monday night.
Wait, no, that's
games.
Monday night. Sorry.
Sunday Night Football is Falcons are at the 49ers. And so it's funny.
How do you feel about their defense?
Me? The Falcons? Number 1 DVOA might be a little, I know maybe number 2, number 3. No, I guess, well, it depends on who's going to play a quarterback for the Niners this week. Do we feel like Purdy's going to play, Craig?
I kind of do. I do think they're going to force him to play, but it's like I think they shouldn't have him play. It's kind of worst of both worlds. It's like he's clearly not fully healthy. He's got the turf toe thing is really hard to get over. I don't know. The Niners are in such a tough spot. I kind of want to shout out Kyle Shanahan. It's remarkable what this dude pulls off every year. I gotta say, like, I think similar to the Saquon Philly rushing issue that you see out there, where it's like they can't run the ball. The Niners quietly also just cannot run the football. Like Christian McCaffrey has been really good this year because he's been a wide receiver. McCaffrey's on pace for 1,200 receiving yards, which is fucking crazy.
Wow.
But he hasn't ran for more than 69 yards in a game this year. I mean, he's 37th in yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey's 37th in yards per carry. He's averaging 3 yards a carry. And I think it's pretty crazy that despite them not being able to run the ball, this team's 4-2. With Mac Jones, who's super not healthy. They're playing with Kendrick Bourne and Demarcus Robinson and Jake Tonjes. This team has the most 10+ yard passing plays of any team in the league. Like it's remarkable what Shanahan is like able to cobble together every week.
He's amazing.
His offense, dude. It's crazy.
And Kittle, I think, and the reasons that there's a lot of reasons the Niners can't run the ball. Obviously, changing the offense, Mac Jones coming in, but I mean the left guard. I keep forgetting his name. Connor Colby is the left guard for the Niners. He has struggled. George Kittle leaving. You always think about the passing game, but George Kittle is one of the best blocking tight ends in all of football. And so, like, his being
He'll
out
be back,
now,
I think.
Yeah, exactly. So his return should help a little. I think Trent Williams has been elite and is. I mean, he's not bad or anything, but I don't think Trent Williams is like the best left tackle in football anymore, which does lower. I mean, he's 37 fucking years old. He's a left tackle. You know what I mean? And his whole thing was, frankly, Trent Williams was up there with anybody in the NFL for being a crazy athlete. Like, that was the skill. It was the strength. It was the speed. He was like a better version of Penei Sewell. And so
some of his blocks on the move are just really insane. Yeah.
So that now the left guard next to him is having a tough time. Trent Williams is probably falling off a little because, again, he's a 37-year-old left tackle based on speed game. So that all, and then all the other injuries, obviously the Niners receivers are supposed to block really well. So it's like, you know, it all matters. But yeah, you're right, Craig. It's under discussed that McCaffrey he's honestly kind of like Achane. It's all receiving. It's really funny. But
I mean, he's on pace for 1,200. The two best receiving backs in the league are playing against each other. Bijan and McCaffrey, by far the most receiving yards out of
the
all
only two running backs in the entire league where when coaches say we'll split them up out wide, they actually mean it. Every other receiver, every other running back, it's been like a lie, but they actually can line up as receivers. Yeah, Bijan is incredible. Falcons, Bijan, yeah, I mean.
This is a weird game. I don't have a feel for it. It's like, I think I would lean Atlanta. Everyone's hot on Atlanta, but the Niners.
The
Niners are a tough out. They're a tough out.
I know.
This game feels alien because you don't really think much about Falcons Niners and you don't think about Michael Penix and shit. Like, it's just, at first glance, it doesn't look that similar. Now, obviously, Kyle Shanahan was the coordinator for the Falcons before he took the job. But the coaching staffs, though, Zach Robinson, the Falcons, like, it's a bunch of McVay shit. And obviously, Shanahan is more familiar with McVay's shit than anyone. And on defense, it's the head coach is Raheem Morris, who obviously was with McVay. Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, literally worked for Robert Saleh, who's the Niners defensive coordinator for the last 4 years. And before that, Jeff Ulbrich worked for Kyle Shanahan. So it's like the coaching staffs and what they're trying to do on the field.
Incest.
It is so incestual, dude. Like, there is going to be.
That's wild.
It seems alien, but these coaching staffs could not be more familiar with what they are trying to accomplish. Like, literally, the two defensive coordinators of this game are Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich, and they just spent the last 4 years together. And then the offenses are Shane Shanahan. So it
kind of feels like this is one of those games where Shanahan asserts his authority. And he's just like, I know more than you guys.
Kind of, yeah, it does feel that way. A little
even
bit.
with like missing Fred Warner, Joey Bosa, or Nick Bosa in their starting quarterback, whoever. Like, if Mac Jones plays, I kind of feel like Mac Jones is going to play. Actually,
I will say, how many games have the Niners even played? Sorry, I should have looked this up before. How many games have the Niners even played without Fred Warner? In the last, Fred Warner has been
he's obviously a massive part of their defense.
And Fred Warner is going to hurt. Yeah, sorry, I know the answer. He has missed. Pop quiz. How many games has Fred Warner missed in the regular season? He was drafted in 2018.
4.
Okay.
I don't know.
0.
None. Yeah.
Wow, really?
I mean, I'll double check this, but maybe I'm reading it. They went to, it's 16, 16, 16, 16, 17. They went to 17 and 20 games in 2022, right? Like, he's missed, this is the first Niners game without Fred Warner. He played hurt last year. He had an ankle injury that I think normal people would have fucking been out for the season. He played through it. But this Niners defense could get fucking rocked without Bosa and Fred Warner, dude.
Kyle Pitts, who's been a little bit up and down, the second that Fred Warner got hurt last week, the Tampa Bay tight ends immediately caught 5 passes for 51 yards.
Yeah.
So Kyle Pitts, I just want to put it on people's radar. If you are in that situation at tight end where you don't have a Tyler Warren or a Trey McBride, Pitts.
That's
also, sorry, I'm wrong. He did miss one game. 2021, he missed one game. I didn't catch it because I was looking. I forgot. They went to 17 games. I forgot in 2021 because they lost.
Right.
That's all right.
So he's missed one game in 8 years. So it's
crazy.
We'll see. Okay. Monday Night Football doubleheader. I think this is the last doubleheader of the season. I hope it's the last doubleheader period.
We have to end this. This is the most they've ever done. This is like 3 out of the last 4 weeks.
I think they were. I don't begrudge the NFL for trying shit. I like when they experiment. The experiment needs to end. I don't want these Monday Night Football, and especially if you're going to do it, the 7, 8 o'clock one you can stagger. I don't know why, but sure. This one has to stop. So I'll just talk about them two at the same time for a second. Bucks are at the Lions. Awesome game. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then Texans-Seahawks is Monday at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So it's 10 Eastern. The one I can't get over is this game's at 9 o'clock Central in Houston. It's a Houston game starting at 9 o'clock. I don't know. This is wild.
Also, like, these are two great games. It's like the morning slop. Like, these are two awesome. Houston, Seattle, and Bucks, Detroit. It's just like great games. I hate doing this.
So anyway, yeah. It's
also
if the 10 o'clock.
If the ALCS goes to 7, there will be an ALCS game that night.
This is so annoying. So I mean, we can look at Bucks, and it's also annoying because Bucks Lions is like the best game. It's so weird. Whatever. East Coast is 7 o'clock. It's kind of nice for a football game. But anyway, so Bucks are at the Lions. This is very fun. I actually wish we could spend more time on how this is fun. But honestly, I can't get over how beat to shit Bucks and Lions both are. So if I lose track of something, let me know. But Mike Evans might come back from his hamstring injury for this week for Tampa. But the Bucks,
looking like he will.
But the Bucks receiver Emeka Egbuka is probably out with a hamstring injury this week. So then Bucky Irving, the running back for the Bucks, is out. Chris Godwin, we didn't even hit this. Chris Godwin's out again because he came back from his dislocated ankle and like immediately hurt his fibula. Never like when it's that specific. So he's out. And then the Lions, their safety Brian Branch is suspended a week because he started a fight with Juju Smith-Schuster after Sunday Football ended last week. So he's suspended. And the line, which add that to the list of Lions secondary, which already has cornerback Ryan Arnold's out, cornerback DJ Reed is out, cornerback Avonte Maddox is out, cornerback Khalil Dorsey is out, not even including Ennis Rakestar, the other cornerback, is on injured reserve. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensive backs for the Lions are out when Mike Evans is returning. So the Lions are going to have Amik Robertson, Rock Ya-Sin, Kirby Joseph, and then they're going to have, I think, Lauren Strickland might start at safety for them, who's an undrafted free agent. Nick Whiteside might start at nickel. In this game, they promoted someone named Jamie Robertson. They signed Jamie Robinson. I've never heard of these people.
I think it's pronounced Jamie.
Jamie. That makes way more sense. Okay. Well, there's 2 M's.
I like it. Maybe I'm wrong. I like Jamie more.
I think it's Jamie. 2 M's. It's definitely Jamie.
And then Arthur Millette, who probably one of the 10 or 12 oldest cornerbacks in the league. He's 32, going on 33-year-old cornerback. Is going to get elevated from the practice squad. I didn't even realize they had 33-year-olds on the practice squad. So anyway, this is crazy, but I'm not betting against Baker Mayfield no matter what. But this is just the walking wounded. This is just Mike Evans and Tez Johnson and Sterling Shepard.
MVP Tez.
And Tez the MVP. Versus the Lions walking wounded. They're getting L.I. McNeil at defensive tackle back for Detroit, which is big. But overall, this is unbelievably injured teams.
On the positive side, 2 of the most fun teams to watch. I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to slow down at all in terms of just like fucking ripping passes as soon as he possibly can and every single time. So there's that. And obviously the Lions, I've said this for a long time, the most aesthetically pleasing team to watch on offense. Just the misdirection, the play action. I think Jared Goff, very smooth throwing motion. He always just gets rid of the ball when he hits his back foot. It's just very aesthetically pleasing. I love these 2 teams.
I just had an intrusive thought. I don't know if I should share it because it's kind of messed up. It's an intrusive thought. I don't believe this, but I had a thought.
Okay.
One benefit of the Lions being so fucking hurt the last 2 years, it's been awesome to watch them have to score as many points as possible in every single game. And it's been really fun. And I'm sorry to all these players who are hurt, but it has, to DK's point, the most aesthetically pleasing offense has had to score on every goddamn drive for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe like defenses just should be worse. That'd be just more fun. What if you could only roll out 10 defensive players?
I don't like. There's a fine line, Craig. I'm like, I want scoring, but then you get into like Big 12 or whatever.
It becomes basketball,
like 70 to 60.
Yeah,
and you're like, that's not.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
I don't know.
60 points in a game.
I think it does kind of sound terrible.
Yeah,
if it was like every week, there's someone scoring 60.
What do they call it? Corey Maggette? Bad porn. A lot of scoring, penetration, but are you even enjoying watching it?
a lot of penetration.
That's the money. That's going to be awesome. I want to mark down Bucks getting 5.5 points. So the Lions are favored to win by 5.5, and I almost want to take the Bucks purely out of principle of Baker Mayfield getting 5.5 points blind, just totally blind. Be like, the Bucks could lose by 4 or 5, and we could still win this bet.
If Mike Evans plays, maybe if he doesn't, I'm not doing that. Detroit at home coming off a loss.
Yeah, no, it's not a good bet. The other Monday football game here is just Texans-Seahawks. Again, I can't get over that this is starting at 10 Eastern.
Luckily, you'll be on the West Coast.
I will be on the West Coast with you guys. I'll be in Los Angeles. I When I look at this game, I think this is a massive mismatch in the trenches between the Seahawks defensive line.
This is the opposite of a Big Ten game. This is defensive porn, right, DK?
Yeah. So, obviously, Heifetz, go ahead and talk about what you're saying, because I think the Seahawks defensive line is really coming to its own. It's looking really, really good.
The Texans offensive line sucks, and the Seahawks defensive line rules. And to Craig's point, the Houston's defense is good too. But I just think the Seahawks offense is so much more capable of rolling with the Texans D than the Texans offense is capable of playing with the Seahawks D. Do you feel that way?
The Seahawks, they're the number 1 team in DVOA. They have the number 4 defense. The Texans are quietly the number 8 team in DVOA with the number 2 defense. So I do think it's going to be a bit of a slog, like Craig said. I do think the Seahawks will be okay in this one. I don't know. I feel kind of confident for them. I think the one weird thing, and this is probably more just random, but the Seahawks have been not very good at home going back the last 2 years, which is strange. They're over the last 2 seasons since McDonald was hired, they're 4-8 at home and 10-1 on the road. And if you look at like the individual games, it kind of makes sense, I guess, because the home losses were to last year. It was the 49ers, Rams, Bills, Packers, and Vikings, and then also the Giants, which made no sense. But 49ers, Rams, Bills, Packers, Vikings, those are all good teams. This year they lost at home to the 49ers and Bucks. I think it's going to be a close one, but I think I kind of like the Seahawks in this one, just again, because their offense is playing so well. Their defensive line is a really big mismatch with the Texans' offensive line. I don't think the Texans' offense is particularly good yet. They're still pretty much. They
just went away on bye, and then I think people have forgotten that the offense is unwatchable, and I think that Seahawks are going to win this game.
This is a big Stroud game because the Texans' last 2 games were against the Titans and the Ravens, and they played well. Before that, Stroud looked correct. Before that, Stroud looked like a disaster, and so. This will matter a lot how he performs. I will not believe the Texans' offense is fixed. I couldn't agree more, Craig. I want to see it. The beating up. What was the score of that Ravens game? You said it was a 44-6. Yeah, 44-10. They're down 9. I mean, the Titans. The Titans have beaten their opponents 70-10 in the last 2 games. The Texans. The Texans. The Titans game, though, when they won 26-0, was pretty close until the fourth quarter. 6-0 entering the fourth quarter. Yeah. And they were driving, but still. So I want to see. So with that said, Ringer 107. Today's Ringer 107 is brought to you by FanDuel. We are competing with all the other Ringer pods here, picking 5 games a week against the spread. And I think we're still in second, but the standings don't matter to me when you do this. You're trying to win 1 week at a time. It's kind of pathetic. Like none of us have a winning record. No, it's you know what? Well, I actually keep thinking we probably should flip our picks every week and we'd be doing great. I marked down Colts plus 1.5, just the principle of let's just keep betting the Colts. Yep, wagon. And they're getting points, and I'm like, let's just keep betting the Colts. They let us down last week for what it's worth. They did, but that's okay. I'm back in on them. I'm fine. I think we just keep doing it. I just think we'll net out like at the end of the year, the Colts are going to be like 12-5 against. I agree, and I kind of want the Patriots and Vrabel versus the Titans. I kind of want to be on the side of Vrabel's rage. Yeah, I like that. I wrote down, I'm not going to make anyone do this, but I wanted to ask Baker Mayfield getting 5.5 points in prime time on principle. Like I understand we will probably lose that bet, but just Baker has the horseshoe. The horseshoe is up his ass, and every week we've said, well, the Bucs, they can't overcome this, and then he's driving. They lose in a field goal, they win in a field goal. It's 5.5 points with Baker, and I'm like, okay, they're down 6 fucking defensive backs in Detroit. Mm-hmm. Do we think Mike Evans is playing? I think Mike Evans sees that. You think Mike Evans doesn't care about getting another 1,000-yard season? Like he knows that it's one of them. Like he needs that 160 yards on Monday night. So wait, what's the spread? 4.5? 5.5. 5.5. So are you saying they're covering? Well, or do you think they'll win? Because the Lions are ridiculous. No, we need them to cover. Yeah, I know. But I'm just like, that's what makes me worried is the Lions are super good at home. They're like 16-4 in their last 20 games. They did beat, I think in the playoffs, they were up like 14 on the Bucs in the fourth quarter when the Bucs were there in Detroit. We don't have to do that one. I get it. I understand. But I'm not like, I'm not totally against it. I'm just that's the thing that comes to my mind. Seattle minus 2.5 versus the Texans would be automatic for me. It's minus 3.5, which makes me a little more nervous because it's a defensive game. Can I offer you the Packers minus 6.5 against the Cardinals?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, we talked about that. I like that.
I'll do that.
It's in Arizona.
I think
Is that okay?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about home field advantage for most of the. It doesn't move me. Like maybe I'm an idiot, but I just
no.
It matters in specific situations. Like the Lions have real home field advantage. There are certain teams that it gets Arrowhead, the Broncos. Like there are certain teams that matter, and I don't think Arizona's one of them.
So we have New England -7, Colts plus 1.5, and Green Bay -6.5. Those are our locks.
Craig, do you like the Buccaneers covering?
I like both your cases. I like Baker getting 5.5 primetime, lock it in versus the Colts. I mean, the Lions have put up, they've only had 2 games at home this year. They put up 34 and 52. I'm like, hooey.
Yeah, they're really good at home. That's my only worry. We can come back to it. What about?
It's kind of a tough week.
Yeah. Heifetz, how do you feel about your Giants?
I don't want to bet the Giants. I don't like laying a touchdown with the Broncos with Bo Nix and the way they're playing, but betting on the Giants, 7 points, but the Broncos are, again, they're the best defense in the NFL. They've allowed 4 touchdowns all season.
I want to bet something in the Eagles-Vikings game. It's 2.5.
Should we just bet against Carson Wentz? It's like Kevin O'Connell, if he really is this good of a quarterback whisperer and he gets Carson Wentz to play great against the Eagles, then we will win because there will be great content. I kind of want to bet on the Eagles.
Pick the Eagles.
I kind of want to bet on the Eagles against Carson Wentz.
All right, Eagles -2.5. And then
is that dumb?
What's fun about that is if the Eagles. No, I originally had that. If the Eagles lose, and then I switched it to. I was like, should we actually bet Brian Flores? If the Eagles then lose, we can just go off on them on Sunday, which sounds really fun.
Yeah, that does sound great.
There'll be more emotion involved.
That sounds great. Can the Bears beat the Saints by 5 at home, or no? Is that a lot?
I've been wondering about whether the Bears deserve to be like a 5.5 point favorite.
I know, it feels a little high.
Do you want to bet on the Dolphins-Browns game?
I was going to say, part of me wants to take Cleveland. Miami, the players are way too soft to win in a rainstorm. There's no fucking way. The Dolphins are going to quit in this game. The Dolphins defense is going to quit. Part of me wants to take the Browns. I swear to God. I know that's stupid, but
no, I kind of get that.
Browns are better, which is wild to say.
Just like fucking busted 70-yard touchdown. I don't know. We can't touch a game with 50-mile-an-hour winds. The winds are higher than the game total.
That's a good rule.
Some winds are higher than the game total. We can't do it.
Should we just take the Chiefs giving 11.5? No, that's insane.
You want
and you don't like the Rams-Jags in London. You don't want to bet on London games, probably.
It's a good rule to just never bet on the London games for any reason.
Never bet the London games.
Why don't we just do Seahawks giving 3.5?
DK?
I mean, I'm kind of the same as Heifetz. Like, it just makes me nervous to bet on any Seahawks games. But on paper, I'm fine with that.
Let's do that.
All right,
good. We're locked.
So what do we got right now?
We have Patriots -7, Colts plus 1.5, Packers -6.5, Eagles -2.5, Seattle -3.5. A lot of favorites.
Yeah, that's a theme for us. Whatever.
Okay,
let's do it. Okay.
Before we go, I want to point out one funny thing that happened on Monday night watching the Bills-Falcons game. Because it's a doubleheader game, so I had one of them. But I was like, I had full screen on the Falcons-Bills game, which I got to say, side note, one of the best parts of the primetime games, in my opinion, is getting the full screen. You know, the whole day we're basically watching medium screens because we got the 4-box going, and then I love having the big screen. It feels like I'm in a fucking movie theater by the end of the day.
Luxurious.
And having the 2 small games on one TV on Monday night sucks because you can't figure out how to fit a screen.
They're not any bigger than the 4-box.
No, it's terrible. Anyway, so Liz, my wife, was on the couch next to me, and she's like barely watching the game. She happens to look up during a punt. And I think it was the Bills were punting, and it was one of those situations where like the ball bounces and then goes into the end zone. So the Bills guy has to like run, jump before the end zone line, catch it and kind of like throw it behind him. And then another Bills player caught it and knelt down. And Liz was like speaking to me about something else while half watching the game. And she goes, "What the hell was that?" And I honestly like could barely describe what that was. And I realized like that play kind of least reflects football than maybe any other one. It was like a little ballerina flip. And she's like, what are they doing?
The landing.
That is the most ridiculous play I've ever seen. Like, what was that? And I was like, well, it is kind of dumb when you watch that. It's like hot potato.
Yeah. There's like five guys huddled around a ball.
Yeah, it's like the floor is lava. It's like, well, you got to jump before the line, and then you catch the ball, and you got to throw it behind you.
It is the floor is lava.
You know what I mean? Anyway.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
They are quite special.
Like, it's just like watching fucking football, and then she turns, and she's like, what the hell?
It is funny. You know what else is funny, too? When the ball's rolling like a little, and there's like 6 guys all waiting.
Yeah, they're like, no, hold on. Don't touch it.
No, don't touch it. And there's like waiting for the roll.
And then some idiot comes forward and like kicks it.
Dude, I
can't control himself.
Also, just out of context, amazing to see 6 NFL players just watching a ball roll at half a mile an hour.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Special teams. This is why we should get rid of punting.
And kicking.
Unless they can do both.
We'll see. We should be able both or neither. That should be the rule.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. Email us trivia questions for Monday waivers. Email us fantasy courts for Wednesday. Email us stories. Email us other dumb parts about football, too, that are kind of like weird to explain. Enjoy the pumpkins. Enjoy the games. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, nice. DK, you know what? Sometimes you really just nail it.
Still got it.
Sometimes
that was
you
good.
got your finger right on the pulse.
That was good. That was good stuff.
The Smashing Pumpkins are quite a famous band that I just have nothing. I have no relationship with them.
Yeah. They were like a specific era, and then they disappeared after that.
I'm glad that Craig said that because I also have no relationship to them.
No relationship with them.
But it's a great name for a band.
Yeah, it is. DK, do you listen to them?
I did a lot when I was growing up. Yeah. They have some really good albums. Siamese Dream, great album. I think that was the name of the album. And then there was another one. There's like a double disc they did that was really good. Had a bunch like The World is a Vampire.
They're from Chicago. Yeah, I just like they started in 1988, went to 2000.
Billy Corgan was their lead singer, or is their lead singer.
Yeah.
And he's an interesting guy. For some reason, I've seen him on like Instagram a lot lately. He's doing a lot of interviews.
He's the owner and promoter of the National Wrestling Alliance.
What?
He's an American guitarist, songwriter, and professional wrestling promoter.
What?
What?
In a million years, I never would have put that.
He is credited with helping popularize the alt-rock genre. He has also been the owner and promoter of the National Wrestling Alliance since 2017.
No, did not know that.
Interesting. You never know who's going to like wrestling.
Right. It's very random.
I could never tell.
You inherit it from your dad or not.
You know what I mean? Like Cyndi Lauper, loved the WWE. I remember that was in the Vince McMahon doc, and I was like, what? Like, you just can't, you have no idea who's going to like wrestling.
It is the most random. I think that's very true.
I went to an amateur wrestling match. A friend of a cousin's friend, yoga instructor's husband was a local wrestler at a local, and they were like, do you want to come? And I was like, fuck it, sure. And we went to a local community center and we watched like a local, actual amateur wrestling thing. And I was like, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I mean, they're incredibly skilled and athletic.
Getting front row seats and I was like, oh, this actually looks super, super painful.
Oh, for sure. I had like borderline front row seats at the first WWE Netflix event earlier this year at Intuit Dome.
Flex.
And it was pretty sick. Like, it was all the big names, but those guys, they're all a little older than you think. Like, these are kind of guys with some gray in their beards throwing each other around.
All these guys are so old.
Yeah. What's the guy's name? Something Punk.
CM Punk.
CM Punk and the other guy we're going at it, and like they are big dudes throwing each other around. Like they're really slapping each other, even though they're not punching. Like you're getting slapped in the chest super hard. It's a lot.
Craig, I accidentally just mistakenly Googled Triple X.
How's that going for
other
you?
stuff came up.
Did the movie? Vin Diesel or other things?
No.
Keep investigating. It might be it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go down this rabbit hole here.
Go further on Google. Hit 2, hit 3, hit 4. See what happens.
Pornhub. What's that? Is that wrestling?
That's CM Punk's rival.
They're wrestling, all right.
I've seen these.
Everyone
movies.
out there is wrestling.
Speaking of suck it,
a lot of
Triple X. Do you remember his signature move, Craig? This is something every boy in my generation did for about 15 years. It was just like the suck it sign.
Yeah. Is that from him?
Yeah. I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Did he make it popular?
I just remember like Kenny Powers doing it,
Yeah, the suck it sign.
Is that from CM Punk?
No. From
Triple X.
Like the X?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if he made it up, but I'm pretty sure he did it.
DK, did you Google the word triple and the letter X or just three
X's?
Okay.
Wait, don't you mean Triple H? Are you talking about Triple H?
You're talking about Triple H.
Oh, that's what I'm sorry.
Dude, do you know how many ghosts have been screaming at us for the last minute or two?
Thank God we got there.
Yeah, can you, dude? I the amount of angry people that there would have been if we did not get to
obviously
Triple H.
I don't follow wrestling.
Also, Triple H is like the CEO of the WWE now. He like runs it.
Yeah, dude. He also was the guitarist for Smashing Pumpkins.
So wait, and I totally made up the connection of the X then too.
I think you did.
I think you just subconsciously wanted to Google Triple X.
Wow.
Well, I want to find out where the X crotch slam came from. Like who started that?
It's kind of like Margaritaville, where it's like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, where it's like, I don't think, obviously Jimmy Buffett didn't come up with this 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's like it became his thing.
Wait, is it Shawn Michaels?
Dude, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, look, I just fucking messed up the name of the guy, so I'm not gonna.
I think the lesson here is we don't know anything about wrestling, and when we're in LA next week, we should talk to David Shoemaker, who's the host of our wrestling podcast here at The Ringer.
That would be good. Yeah.
The modern crotch chop is most famously associated with the wrestling group D Generation X. Sean Waltman, who performed in the UK.
I learned a lot about wrestling very quickly when I was a fact checker here at The Ringer, and I would have to fact check wrestling columns sometimes, and I learned a lot very quickly because it was a lot I didn't know.
Well, at least it was D Generation X, and so I was like
D Generation X.
I was on the right,
which D Generation X had Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Yeah, okay.
So I think DK's right.
I'm definitely wrong, but like I was on the right path. I think.
But you were close. You were getting there.
It's the group he's in.
Yeah. All I know is, and again, I'm sorry for fucking that up so terribly, but like I remember back in the day, Triple H doing the suck it thing, and that was like a huge thing that all my buddies did. Suck it. Like after everything, it was just suck it.
Yeah. It plays really hard.
Great generation.
Like a 12-year-old boy, like they just love that shit.
Yeah.
That plays
Triple X.
So hard.
What Triple X was a movie with Vin Diesel.
Bora Bora.
I've never seen those movies, the Triple X movies with Vin Diesel. Are they good?
Bad, good team, bad, good movie. Good, bad. Yeah. It's bad, good. It's bad, good.
My place on the rewatchables now is like a lot of the times we do these movies and it's like we did Sneakers, which is a movie with Robert Redford from the 90s. It's like a spy espionage kind of movie. And it's fine. It's fine.
I actually, I will say now that I think about it, I would argue if you go back and watch it, Samuel Jackson, what he's doing, he's in Triple X, the first one. And I do think that they probably watched that and cast him as Nick Fury in Marvel because it's like the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
He's just like the leader of a CIA network
I'm just sometimes in a funny position on the rewatchables because the hosts of each particular episode are the hosts. They're chosen because they love that movie. And I'm on every episode because I'm the producer and not necessarily because I love or have seen the movie. So it is funny that sometimes like they gush about it for 90 minutes and then they're like, Craig, what'd you think? And I was like, fine. I was like, Sneakers is fine. You know, I'm like, Roger Ebert gave it a 2.5 out of 4. I'm like, that's right. He's right. It's not bad, but like, you know, it's just kind of funny. I'm like a fucking Eeyore at the end of every episode.
What about Roger Ebert gave Triple X or Triple H? I wonder if he recommended either.
You know, Ebert could have been a WWE fan. He might have been. You never know.
You never know.
I know. Siskel or Ebert were for sure.
One of those freaks. Love that shit.
Sorry for horrifically butchering that. I feel bad. People are going to be upset.
I know. That's all right.
But yeah.
Your heart was in the right place.
I never got into it.
I'm just glad that we landed on the fact that it was Triple H, not Triple X.
Yeah, that now everyone's over it. No one even cares.
No one's
mad now.
Conflating all the 90s stuff really horribly.
There's no way anyone's mad now. Everyone's super over it. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Laura. Oh, no, I already did that. Goodbye, everyone.
Heifetz, Jesus Christ. How many times are you going to
I don't know. Goodbye. I'm sorry. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.